Good morning, folks. Welcome to part 2 of the rod build that I'm doing. And I didn't bore you with all the details, but I'll explain it to you. What I've done here is I'm going to do with the decorative wrap this morning. And I've taken the circumference. This is about a 9.5 inch wrap from there to there. And it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crosses where the lines cross, what they call the pattern change or pattern cross. And I've laid that out. I'm basically taking the circumference. I took a measurement at this end, one in the middle, and one at the other end of the circumference. I then averaged those. And that's what I've put here basically. I cheated a little bit tighter at this end. I think it came to 42 millimeters. I think this one's 41.5 or 41.75, and this one's probably 42.5. That just helps offset that taper some. So I've done that on both sides. This is going to be a 4-axis closed diamond wrap. And of course, to get the diameter, what I did is I found the top and the bottom there and there. And I just took the circumference here at this end. I laid that out, and then I took half of that. I can't remember those figures, but it's basically the diameter times 3.1415 to give you a circumference. I took half of that, and then I converted that back. Then I measured half of that, and I put one half on top, or one mark on top, and the other half mark on the bottom. And I double checked that. You need that to be exactly right, and it came out just right. So anyway, I'm getting ready to get started. This gentleman just told me he wanted to have a, quote, pretty rod. So I've got to come up with some colors. I hadn't put a ton of thought into that yet. But I'm going to do that now, and I'll bring it back to you in just a few minutes. Y'all stay tuned. Okay, I've got my popsicle sticks in the ends here. So I can, when I wrap down, I got to come back, and I'm starting with this red right here. This is going to be the middle of that diamond. I'm going to do about 6 or 8 runs of this. I've got a variety of colors here. This is going to have 6 different patterns, and the way I do them is I come and I do one, and I come back and do the other one. So I'll do 6. This is the second one. I'm going on top of this one. And I'll come down and make the turn, and I'll go on top of it again. Sorry for my hand being in the way, but like I've mentioned on other videos, I'm actually filming with my phone for these close-ups. They work better than the GoPro, and it's between me and the rod, so I have to reach between it sometimes just to get the strings right. This one I'll go below the line, and I try to keep these as close as I can. Then I go back, of course, and pack the string once I get done with this. I really haven't had a rod to wrap in a while. It took me a while to get rolling on this thing. It's kind of out of a routine. Hopefully I got it going now. You would think summer would be kind of a time people would, I expected more fishing rods this past spring, but actually Christmas was the big time. Father's Day, I don't think I had anything. anybody to cut this off and take a look at it and see how these rods are real slick. Lines tend to slide more than I like. And I'll just grab, I'll tighten it up, primarily where they cross. If you like my videos, I think I'm really bad about not asking for you to subscribe, but please subscribe to these things. It's just kind of a goal you set. It doesn't cost you a dime, of course, to subscribe. I'm sure you already know that. And hopefully, if you're into rod building or fishing, I actually do. Nowadays, I'm doing more fishing videos, although it's been so blasted hot and I've had family obligations, so it's kind of kept me from going. I actually do more videos fishing. So hit the like and subscribe, and if you're new to YouTube, subscribing it and the end of it, you have to kind of hit the little bell notification there, and you can have certain options there. And for the life of me, I don't know why they have them. I would think if you subscribed, you'd want to see everything from the channel you're subscribing to. But there's certain options. I don't even know what they all are, but hit all. That way, when I release a video, you'll get them all. At least get the option to watch them all. And I hope you do. If you have any questions about any of this, give me a shout. I'll do my best to answer them. I retired about a year, and this is July now, so it's been about a year and 3 months or so. Took up this hobby. Really enjoy it. A little bling in here. The center of these diamonds are kind of going to be a little bit of a focal area, so I can try to dress them up best I can. All kinds of theories on running multiple strings, but I'm telling you, they are more decorative going on one at a time, but it literally takes twice as much time to do it. So the one thing I need to work on in all this, of course, is patience. But I still run 2 strings at a time. Sometimes up to 4. I'm sure I'll do some with 4 on this one. Oops, sorry y'all, hit the camera. home building business for years, a lot of years. General contractor, but I was out in this heat, especially in my younger day, doing a little work. I've always said I don't know how these guys stand it. Roofers, getting some of these ritzy neighborhoods, and I had a roofer want to start really as early as he could see in the morning. I told him, have at it. They called the cops. I told the cops, I said, man, I think that day it was going to be 95, 98. They called me because my name was on the sign out front. And I said, if that guy wants to work, I think in that neighborhood you weren't supposed to start until maybe 7:30 or 8. This was maybe, I'm sorry, I think you started at 7. This was probably 6. I said, told the cop, I think he actually went there and was talking to him. I said, it's pretty understanding. I said, can I sit here and talk to you? I think we had 20 more minutes to go. I said, if I talk to you for 20 more minutes, it'll be time anyway. He kind of laughed, and I never heard any more from it. So I think he understood. He was just doing his job. He gets a call, you have to go. He kind of explained it to me that way. Even coming in that early, they would work until lunch, and then you just can't stand it. Even at that, they'd probably work close to 6 hours in it. I sure as the world wasn't going to give them a hard time. Like these chapters or these sections I'm doing this in, I try to keep them. I know from my own experience, keep the video down to 15 minutes or less. They tend to be watched more often. I have a tendency to watch the ones like that. So I'll probably fast forward through a lot of this. Stop running my mouth so much. I don't know, I guess if you're watching this, you're probably just getting into this. And you can carry this, you don't have to close it. Closing it means, you won't see any of the rod. I'm gonna keep wrapping until there's no rod showing. But you could stop right now. Epoxy it. Have your little diamond wrap here. So when I started doing this a little over a year ago, I watched a lot of videos, and best advice that I took from somebody's video, I don't remember who it was, is don't do something to frustrate yourself. Do something you can do. Feel good about it when you get through. You don't want to spend all afternoon and do something that you really haven't gotten the experience to do. You'll just get frustrated. This isn't something you can it isn't like trying to tie your shoe. If you do it wrong, you start over in just a few seconds. It takes you a long time to do this. Work 3 or 4 hours on something, you get through and it doesn't look quite good. It's frustrating. Take it from me. Something else I learned, when you're doing these things, you're so focused on areas, specific areas, and you do tend to see the worst parts. My wife gets home from work, I'll drag her out here and say, look at this, look at this, oh, it looks fine. And then usually if I wait overnight, come back and look at it, and those little things that jump out at you when you're right in the middle of it really don't jump out anymore. Okay, I'm going to run 4 strings now. This is Fuji thread, which tends to run a little bit thinner. Even though it's the same size, it runs thinner than Pro Wrap. string of blue in here. Trying to mix up the colors a little bit. On these colors, it's just a wild guess. You kind of know what should look good. Okay, I'm gonna run a thread of black now. That usually gives you some delineation. Okay, I'm running 4 strands of this aquamarine, I call it. It's Fuji number 17. D size. Nothing magic about how I just simply take the thread and go from one end past the other and take a little off of it. If I'm running 4 threads, I do it 8 times. It gives me, then I double it, or half it, I guess, once I get it. And I can run 4 threads down and back in one pass. Okay, I'm running a double strand of silver tinsel. Again, can't pull this too tight because it'll pull that tinsel off the string. And the way this works, as this diamond gets larger, that's the thread you see. You don't see these threads over here. You end up covering all those up. So I'll start looking at more of everything that's inside the diamond, seeing how it looks. hard time keeping this stuff packed. We're running 4 strands of red now. After these 4, I'll probably go run a few singles of a different color, or maybe put some blue in here, some darker blue. Not real sure. About to get all the red down. Run some of this red tinsel down beside the red I just ran. Trying to create a little elegant look, I guess. Got a problem at this end though. This thing's doing stupid stuff right here at the end. I think I'm being up and down at all the times. Let's see. Yeah. Just for kicks, I'm gonna put in at least 1 string of purple. It's a subliminal message here of East Carolina colors. I got some yellow in there, and I'm putting, or some gold. Putting this purple in here. Two parts of the wrap that I don't like is the beginning and the end. Everything in the middle I like. Closing it off is always a challenge. That, like I said this earlier, you don't really know how well everything's going to be till you get through. It's not like tying your shoe where you spend a few seconds and just redo it. I've been on this wrap probably 3 hours, counting layout and everything. I'm sure I got 30 to 40 more minutes in it. But I'm just not, I had a hard time getting rolling today. It's kind of weird. Run a single string of yellow everywhere. Well, that happens sometime, folks. The whole thing came undone. Make you turn if you don't overlap it enough. That's what happens. It comes loose. need to go around it. Stop and pack everything. I am in the short rows. Sounds like we're getting some much needed rainfall out there. We're in a severe drought here in eastern North Carolina. Okay, I got the wrap finished. Now I am going to start the tile process. I've already done the other end down there. Wasn't sure I was going to keep this wrap at first, but I think it's going to be alright. I've got to go about a ½ an inch, so I'll wind this down a little bit. Then I'll take it and I go over and get this out of my way. Take the razor blade. That's the purpose of these popsicle sticks, of course, is to protect the blade when you start cutting this off. This is a fairly new blade. And it is amazing how quick. Just take my time. You don't want to cut the blank. Just take my time. This all in here. The color preserver kind of keeps it. I'll show you one of the advantages to using that, other than preserving the color, which naturally is what it's supposed to do. Now I just sort of start slicing this, try to be as easy as I can. Okay, so I kind of nicked my thread on the razor blade by accident, so I had to redo that, and I didn't feel like boring y'all with that. What you can actually do, I'm going to go out here a ½ inch, but you can actually take this and slice it down and just kind of, if you've got enough of this color preserver on it. The problem you have with these tiles is you've got such a big bulky end to them that the thread doesn't want to lay just right. Sometimes you have to wrap them twice. But if you use that color preserver, you can actually slice it down like you're slicing a brisket. Don't want any, like I've got this right here, it's kind of abrupt end right there. So I'll go back and slice that down. Everything in rod building is take your time, and this is no exception. It is worth the time to take your time when you're doing this. This can only be about a half an inch. So I'm about where I need to be. I'm gonna wind my string back. Putting a black trim in this. That's what I'm gonna do with the guides. The way I do it, I just introduce it. And I want this about halfway, so. Got a little bit of a nub right here that's not wanting my string to lay. It comes around and wants to get on top of the other one. The way I do is I'll just kick that main thread out, and then I'll start going around behind it. And folks, this is real hard to do with this camera between me and this blank. This out and lock it in. And this is going to need some work, especially on this side back here that you can't see. Pull it tight. You can pull anywhere you need to pull to try to get it tight. Still having some problems with that one nub left in there. I wish I'd have filmed the one at the other end. That one went really smooth. Put my pull through in. The whole thing can only be about a half an inch. So I'm real close to that. And it's just a typical pull through. You cut it, stick it through. Pull it through. This blade's getting a touch dull. Burnishing a little bit. I'm not 100% thrilled with this. Where these two black strings come together, it's a little bit of a rise right there, and it just won't. It won't act right. Okay. Now I'll take some alcohol and get the rest of this residue off. I'll usually use my finger. It's laid out way down here. So there you have it. I do my own winding checks. I do these ramped winding checks. So that's kind of what I'm setting up now to do. may have it a little far. Slide this way a little bit. And I'm going to put this same decorative tinsel reddish covered for, I can put one little band on it in here. It'll kind of give it some decent looks, I think. Get this out of here. Be a little careful with this tinsel thread because the tinsel will come off the thread. I'm going to zoom in, let you see what I've got going on here. I guess it's staying focused. Pull through in here. It's a little bit of a pain to get this all pulled through because you're working against the foregrip. Trying to get right up against it. Good. And I'll do epoxy and an epoxy ramp, and you have to, I'll show you that process too, but you have to kind of let your epoxy get almost set up, and it's got to be the thickness of about honey on a cold day, and it'll ramp right up for you nice and pretty, and that middle thing I put in there will shine right out. So.